Welcome to True Brand Gamer. Today we're stepping into 5 upcoming titles that promise to be filled with legendary warriors, ancient powers, and worlds waiting to be conquered. Number 1. Phantom Blade Zero. Few upcoming action games look as stylistically explosive as Phantom Blade Zero, a title that blends wuxia martial arts cinema with dark fantasy and lightning-fast combat. The story unfolds in a shadowy world of assassins, ancient sects, and forbidden techniques, where power is determined not by armies, but by mastery of the blade. At the center of the narrative is Soul, an elite assassin working for a secretive organization known as the Order. When a high-ranking leader within the group is mysteriously murdered, Soul is framed for the crime and marked for death. To make matters worse, he is poisoned during the escape and given only 66 days to uncover the truth before the toxin claims his life. As Soul hunts for answers, he moved through a dangerous network of martial clans, corrupt officials, and supernatural enemies who would rather see him dead than discover what really happened. Combat appears to be the defining feature of the experience, built around incredibly fast swordplay, acrobatic movement, and fluid combo systems that encourage constant aggression and precision. Rather than slow and methodical encounters, battles unfold like a martial arts film, with blades flashing, enemies swarming, and the player chaining techniques together with deadly efficiency. The villains range from rival assassins to monstrous biomechanical enemies and elite warriors who possess skills rivaling Soul's own. Expectations are high because Phantom Blade Zero seems to be chasing something rare, a modern action RPG that captures the intensity and choreography of classic martial arts storytelling while delivering brutal, skill-driven gameplay. Number 2. Onimusha, Way of the Sword. The legendary samurai action series returns to a world where feudal Japan collides with demonic horror. The setting is steeped in war and chaos, a time when political conflict and supernatural corruption spread across the land like a plague. Hidden behind the turmoil are the Genma, demonic entities manipulating humanity's conflicts and feeding on the suffering of the world. The story centers on a lone swordsman who becomes bound to a mystical power capable of combating the Genma threat. Armed with a blade infused with supernatural energy, the swordsman cuts through corrupted warriors and monstrous demons while unraveling the truth behind the growing invasion. The gameplay is expected to focus heavily on precise sword combat, emphasizing timing, counters, and tactical duels that capture the elegance and danger of samurai warfare. Villains take the form of terrifying demon generals, grotesque spirits, and corrupted warriors who serve the Genma forces. Fans are especially excited because modern technology allows the franchise's signature mix of cinematic samurai action and supernatural horror to evolve into something far more immersive and visually striking than the original games ever could. Number 3. Project Windless. Built upon the beloved Korean fantasy novel The Bird That Drinks Tears, Project Windless stands apart from many upcoming RPGs as a story known for its imaginative races and philosophical depth. Rather than a typical medieval fantasy setting, the game takes place in a strange and mysterious world filled with ancient ruins, vast deserts, and civilizations shaped by myth and legend. The story introduces a diverse cast of characters drawn from different species and cultures, each with their own beliefs and motivations. These characters find themselves pulled into a growing conflict that threatens the balance of their world, forcing them to confront both external enemies and deeper existential questions. The villains are not simply monsters or tyrants, but forces capable of disrupting entire societies and reshaping the world's fragile order. Gameplay is expected to combine exploration, RPG progression, and large-scale encounters while emphasizing storytelling and immersive world-building. Because the source material is famous for its rich themes and character-driven narrative, expectations for Project Windless center on whether it can successfully translate that depth into an expansive, interactive experience. Number 4. The Godslayer. Leaning fully into dark fantasy spectacle, The Godslayer presents a brutal world where mortals finally challenge the divine powers that rule them. In this universe, the gods are not benevolent creators, but oppressive rulers who demand loyalty, sacrifice, and absolute obedience from humanity. Entire civilizations exist under their control, and their will is enforced by monstrous servants and fanatical followers. The story follows a warrior who rises from obscurity to become a threat to these divine tyrants. Armed with powerful weapons and abilities capable of harming the gods themselves, the God-Slayer journeys across ruined temples, war-torn lands, and ancient sanctuaries built to worship the very beings he now seeks to destroy. Each god serves as both a narrative pillar and a major gameplay encounter, wielding devastating abilities tied to their domain, storms, fire, or celestial beasts. Combat is expected to revolve around intense action battles and massive boss encounters that test both skill and strategy. The concept alone has captured attention, as players are drawn to the promise of confronting towering deities and slowly transforming from mortal warrior into the very thing the heavens fear most, a God-Slayer. Number 5. Project TAL. Appearing as a large-scale fantasy RPG, TAL focuses on exploration, magic, and the struggle for power in a world filled with ancient secrets. The setting revolves around a land where forgotten magic still lingers beneath the surface, and powerful factions compete to control relics capable of reshaping the balance of the world. The story follows a hero drawn into this growing conflict, someone who gradually discovers that their role in the fate of the world may be far greater than they imagined. As players explore sprawling landscapes, towering fortresses, mystical forests, and long-abandoned ruins, they encounter allies, rivals, and enemies whose ambitions often clash in unpredictable ways. The villains emerge from both political and supernatural forces, ranging from rival warlords and rogue sorcerers to ancient creatures awakened by the pursuit of forbidden power. Gameplay is expected to blend traditional RPG progression with modern action combat, giving players the freedom to develop unique abilities and playstyles while uncovering hidden lore throughout the world. With its mysterious premise and potential for large-scale exploration, Project TAL has become one of the more intriguing fantasy projects currently on the horizon. Whether these games ultimately redefine the genre or simply carve out their own loyal audiences, one thing is certain: each of them is aiming for something ambitious. And as they move closer to release, they represent a glimpse into the future of action gaming, one filled with legendary warriors, ancient powers, and worlds waiting to be conquered.